Hey cuties, today we're exploring a cute new dating sim called Bardic Quest for Love. So keep in mind that at the time of this video I haven't completed the game yet, so this is all mostly my first impression and a summary of things that I found in the production book. If you want to find out more, definitely get the game and consider buying the production book. There's a lot of neat stuff in there like early works of the game, and lots of pictures of the characters. Alright, let's get into it. Bardic is a game made by Filipino studios Breadwork Games as a love letter to D&D, medieval fantasy, RPGs, and dating sims. Production of this game started in 2020 and was released on Valentine's Day in 2024. I recommend checking out the production book to see all the work that went into this, like early art designs, the production team, character inspiration, and more. There's a lot of really cool stuff in there. In Bardic, you play as a bard whose dad left you and your twin a tavern to take care of while he goes to slay a dragon. And he must be a bard too. You go to the tavern and see that it's been more or less abandoned by previous staff. As you're getting set up to open, your childhood friend Junia arrives and reveals she was part of the previous staff and decided to stick around to be your bartender as a favor to you. She then offers to help you put up help wanted signs and find some people to recruit. You go on a quick adventure around the city of Deep Harbor and you find the rest of the cast. With that, let's talk about the characters. I'm gonna do my best not to spoil anything about the character stories because I feel like with VNs and dating sims, it's a lot more fun to learn about the nitty-gritty details yourself. So this section will just be a quick overview and my first impressions of the characters. The first characters you meet are the twin bards, Edmund and Edna Ford. They just had a birthday, and their father, despite being so busy slaying dragons, has left them with a fantastic gift: a job. Jokes aside, the twins have recently finished college and are returning home where they're told about the tavern. The player can choose between playing either twin and even what pronoun their chosen twin goes by. Edmund is the more responsible twin, very determined to make this tavern work. While Edmund is more level-headed in comparison to Edna, he's also a bit anxious and awkward. Edna is the more laid-back twin with a bit of sassy attitude to her. She can also be very headstrong and stubborn. The next character you meet is Junia, the childhood friend. Can't have a dating sim without the cute friend who's known you for ages, right? She's the tomboyish rogue with an amazing work ethic and a bit of bite. Personally, I love a character who's fluent in the ways of snark and aggressive teasing. Junia is the only employee who stayed after the twins' fathers left and states that she wants to stick around as the bartender out of loyalty to her childhood friend. She has a no-nonsense attitude and often wants to do things her own way, ready to take on any challenges that come up. Also, she has such a nice laugh. The next characters you meet depend on where you go after talking to Junia, so we'll talk about my playthrough. I saw in the trailer that there was a barbarian, so I immediately headed to the arena because maybe he was training or something. As I predicted, there he was, hanging out with the monk. Hector the Barbarian is a gentle giant who also has an amazing work ethic and a lot of ambition, sporting 2 jobs and going to acting classes throughout the game. He's a bit silly, very kind, and a little vain. I mean, go off, King, he knows he's pretty. Also, he has a really nice laugh and a smooth voice that can ring me ingredients off the box and keep me enthralled.
I know there are a lot of rumors about me, and I know some of them can be pretty bad. But don't believe everything you hear. You know, I would have hoped you would have been different. Guess I was wrong.
We also meet his friend Frankie the monk. To be honest, I thought Frankie was multi-classing as a monk barbarian, and then I started thinking of how cool a monk barbarian would be, and how to go about making that a thing. Frankie is very hot-headed, but determined to be a great fighter. He's easily excitable and definitely reminds me of an eager shonen protag. When we leave the arena and go down to the academy, we meet Crow. Again, love characters well versed in snark, so when Crow and Junia start going back and forth, it was a joy to watch. Crow is the wizard who gives me cranky old man in a young person's body vibes. Or maybe burnt out student with senioritis. Crow is straightforward, and while he is moody at times, he does seem to be genuine and passionate about the things he talks about. I definitely love his ideas about adding a little book nook library thing to the tavern. After collecting those 3 into our employ, I headed over to the theater where we were met with siblings Naomi and Kara, a warlock and a cleric. Naomi is a chaotic, flirty goth gremlin who wants to have fun. She likes to play games and pranks, and I get the feeling that she's an absolute sweetheart. Also, her fashion sense is... We'll be down to cosplay her one of these days. Gara is the timid cleric stereotype that bends over backwards to make sure everything is going smoothly. The mom friend. I haven't had much time to talk to her since the characters leave the tavern from time to time, and I'm trying to get to know Hector better. So I don't know too much about her personality, other than she's very devout and cares for others, especially her sister. From the theater, we go over to the plaza where Owen the Sorcerer is performing. I think he's either a wild magic sorcerer or just really bad at controlling his magic right now. He's a lot like Frankie in that he gives me Eager Shonen Protag vibes, but with the hyper ADHD, which honestly just makes him more endearing to me because same. Same as with Kara, I don't know much about him to really get a good read on his character, other than he wants to be helpful and he's very excited about the things he's interested in. While we're in the plaza, Lark the Artificer appears to give her critique. I really like Lark. She's a overdramatic mad scientist who knows she's God's gift to society with her invention. Not quite snarky, but she's got a bite to her that I can't help but love. She and Crow know each other from the academy, so I'm very excited to hear some stories about the other from each of them. Finally, we go down to the port area and explore the marketplace. Here we meet with Glasses the Ranger and Vinny the Druid. They're both chaotic in their own special way. Glasses is a wholesome, animal-loving ball of energy. She clearly wants to help out as much as she can, and I like her can-do attitude. Without spoiling anything, I have a suspicion she leads a double life, and I can't wait to explore that. Vinny is a druid who just left the woods and is in the city for the first time. Appearance-wise, he looks like the dad from Inside Out. I just have to tell everyone that. Anyway, Vinny is super nice and cares about animals. He wants to try the city living thing and do his best, but he definitely needs a bit of guidance. After the marketplace, we go to the docks where we meet Dante, Junior's friend. He's a fighter who's very serious, which makes me think he's got a secret/troubled past or something. I haven't really talked to him much because in my playthrough, he doesn't hang around the tavern much. But what I have gathered is that he's protective and a bit brash. Our final member of the team arrives to us through a misunderstanding. Abigail the Paladin works for the city guard and is a shy girl. She stands outside the tavern trying to muster up the courage to ask for a job while freaking out everybody inside. Abigail is very much a rules follower, and the idea of breaking a rule seems to set her on edge. Which means I'm gonna have fun teasing her. She doesn't want to cause trouble and just wants to play games with everyone, which I love. So, overview. I'm gonna smooch Hector. Everyone else is adorable, and I need to talk to these people. On to gameplay. So, the game is a dating sim first and foremost, so lots of reading. But there is voice acting here and there, which is always a plus for me. A neat thing I noticed while playing is that interactions can change based on a dice roll. When you start the game, you get some points to allocate to different traits. Boldness, inspiration, fun, charm, knowledge, and morale. These traits all play in the interactions in the game, and how many points you put into them work like a modifier in D&D. For example, I put 6 of my points into boldness, and so for anything that has to do with that trait, I can add 6 points to that roll. These roles can change how a scene plays out, which I think is really cool. I ended up doing some scenes twice and my roles were different, so it changed dialogue from other characters and my dialogue options. These traits also come into play during the tavern management part of the game. In addition to the dating sim, you also have to run your tavern through a neat diner dash-esque game. At the start of the rush, there's an icon showing what kind of customers are expected to show, and you pick your staff based on that. Each of the characters have abilities for both front of house and back of house with the special attribute. For example, personally, I try to throw Hector in everywhere because I just really like hearing his laugh. You can also explore Deep Harbor and talk to your coworkers who have decided to take the day off to stroll around. It looks like a great way to replay scenes, though I'm not entirely sure if it's supposed to work like that. I was able to play through 2 of Hector's scenes a second time, and I was able to play through Dante's first scene a second time as well. Keep in mind that the exploration and tavern management is still in early access, so expect more updates in the future. I really enjoyed this game and I really enjoyed the characters. Everyone is so much fun to chat with, and I love triggering cutscenes with everybody. The tavern management has the potential to be extremely challenging, and I'm hoping that as I progress in the game, the waves of customers get more intense or extremely rowdy. I also can't wait to see what gets added to the game, especially with the exploration of the town. I can't wait to try out more of the game, and I'm especially excited to see the date Hector and my twin go on. You can either catch the streams on Twitch, or you can wait for an edited version of my playthrough here on YouTube. Go check out the game, wishlist it, try out the demo, and buy it if romance novels, indie games, and or D&D is your jam. I'll catch you cuties later. Bye!